Hello, everybody. We are going to be painting today, and today we're going to be painting our version of the Knockout board game from Awakened Realms. Knockdown. We got Volume 1, we got Volume 2. It's like a Street Fighter style game, but with Awakened Realms miniatures. So the Volume 2 has I guess I should show you guys the Nemesis miniatures. So we've got Nemesis Alien there. They've already pre-primed and stuff. We've got the Captain, and we've got the girl who they've renamed. So I actually have the this is very interesting. So this is from my actual Nemesis game. So this is the alien that I painted from my original Nemesis game. And let's see. Hey, Crickstar's here. So you can see that this model is definitely smaller than this one. And these are called intruders in the game. But in this game, because you get to play this as a fighter, it's called Puppy. And you can see that Puppy is a little bit more blue than the greenish ones that are in the game. So I think I will go with this more blue skeleton color scheme than the green color scheme. And then in the original Nemesis, the two characters are Scout, and this is the original Scout. So you can see the original Scout. This is my Nemesis version of Scout. And this is what the new one looks like. So you can see the detail is so much better. But the cool part is that the base sizes are the same. So not only once I paint this can I use it with Knockdown, but I can also use it with Nemesis, which will be cool. So we want to keep the same. But in Nemesis, she's called Scout. But in this game, she's called Katie. So I guess Scout's real name was Katie all along. Who knew? So we're going to do that. And then the other Nemesis character is Captain, who's the guy who's on the front cover of the box. And so this is my original Nemesis Captain version. And again, this is my old way of doing things when I would just prime it white and just do contrast paints. And then I kind of silver dry brush on top. But we're going to do it the new way, which is basically this kind of shaded black primer and then gray shading. But we're going to try to keep the color scheme the same. I'll try to give them the same kind of color suit so then I can use him with Nemesis as well. And then finally, so the cool part is I have some color references for those three. So we've got, and his name is James for some reason, James. So who knew the Captain's name was actually James all along? All right, so those are the three that come with the Volume 2. And then there are three that come with Volume 1, which is this Driana chick here. I don't know. And I kind of went heavier on the white with her because anytime there's skin, I like to not have so much shadow. So that'll be mostly skin. But her bow is weird. There's like in the picture, it's just gray, but here there's like a whole bunch of extra leaves or something. I guess those are leaves maybe. So maybe we'll make a gray bow and put some green leaves around it. I have no idea what that is, but we'll find out when we get there. Then we've got Veroth, who's, I think these are original to the game. They're not other Awakened Realms properties, because this looks very Street Fighter-y because he's got 4 arms. So these should be, pretty easy to slap some color on them and we should be done. And then finally, we've got Jingo. And Jingo is like a cybernetic Bruce Lee, I guess. And here's his figure. So there's going to be basically a lot of skin, and then I guess his arm is going to be like Winter Soldier metal. So just put some metal on the arms. And we should be good to go there. So we're just going to skin those up. We got 3 for Volume 1, 3 for Volume 2. And then if we have time, the game came with a couple of extra what did it come with? I ordered some extra. So Awakened Realms also makes a game called Lords of Hellas. So they have a fighter for Clea here that you can use as one of the fighters in the game. So we're going to paint her up. This is the only time I ever got a sun dropped anything. I got the sun drop version of the Warlord box for Lords of Hellas, and this is what the original Lords of Hellas Clea figure looks like. Again, same base size, but the figures are just bigger and better detailed. So, and this sun drop is horrible. Like, I don't know what they did there. So I'm thinking about just painting over it and starting over and see if we can get 2 Cleas done tonight. So we'll figure that out. And then finally, Awakened Realms has a game called Ether Fields, which I'm still waiting for the second printing of. It's supposed to be delivered. It was supposed to be delivered last month, but it's still on a boat from China, I guess. So maybe I'll get it soon. But it has a character in there called Chili the Business Penguin. So you can actually use Chili as a fighter in this game too. You can fight with Chili. So we're gonna put some color on Chili if we got time. We'll see. I'm gonna try to crank this all out in a couple hours. All right. Yeah, I think sun drop technology has definitely gotten better over the years. That's for sure. All right, so that's it. We're trying to do 6 figures tonight. We'll see what we can do. I guess let's go ahead and get started putting some color on this stuff. Whoa! I think I'm going to start with Puppy because he's pretty much going to be the easiest. We can just slap some color on him, make sure he's got some white claws and white teeth, and he should be good to go. What I'm going to do, because you can see how he's got this like lighter turquoise color and then like a bluish color. So I think what I'm going to do is actually cover them all in a turquoise color and then just kind of dry brush a blue contrast paint over it. So this is my Athermatic Blue, which is my really good turquoise color. Let's just get that going. Pop that pot and get it started. And basically we're just going to put it everywhere except for the teeth. And we'll see how that looks. You can also already see it's very light. So once we put some blue on here, it'll definitely get popped. And then also what I do is I put a thing called technical ard coat on these things, which is basically like a gloss. Because, you know, just like the real aliens from the movies, these guys are slimy. So anytime you want something slimy, you want it to be kind of wet looking. And so you just use a gloss paint to get wet looking stuff happening. All right, so we're going to do that and that and that. And there you go. Hey, Ted's here. Happy Star Wars Day, 45 years ago today. I did not know that. I remember seeing it in the movie theater when I was a kid, when I saw it in a drive-in theater. And yep, and this Friday, we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. What do you guys think about Obi-Wan Kenobi? It could be cool. It could totally blow. All right, we're just going to make sure all of his little areas are covered, because anything that's not him is pretty much, if it's like Nemesis, this is spaceship parts. So I typically make these like metal looking. So what we'll do is wind up putting some gray on it and then put a metal dry brush on top. Super simple. Yeah, these things paint up really nice. Yeah, Crickstar, this Friday, Obi-Wan, it should be really cool. And we also get the Stranger Things season 4, I think, on Sunday. So Lots of cool new stuff coming, which is good for nerds. So yeah, this is the trickiest part. These tails have these prickly bits, and it's not tricky to paint them, but you definitely want to be careful with a brush on this kind of stuff because it really tends to flick the paint all around. Anytime you brush a prickly surface, the brush will spray paint everywhere, and you don't want paint getting everywhere. Especially in your mouth or something, that would be bad. Yep, that Stranger Things was, before the COVID. That was the last season. They were supposed to have this new season during COVID, and it never happened. So glad to see it's coming back. And it's going to be in two parts too, I think. There's basically June's going to have 6 episodes, and then July's going to have 6 episodes or something like that. It may not be 6, but something to that effect. All right. This is just about what we wanted. So this Athermatic Blue really is a super light blue. I use it a lot for ice. We're going to use it for the base for Chili the Penguin, because Chili the Penguin is... it took me a while to figure out. I thought he was like smashing bricks, but then I thought, oh, he's a penguin. Of course, he's on ice. Those have to be ice cubes. All right, cool. So looks good. We're going to let that dry for just a little bit, and we're going to go back to our humans, and I'm going to put flesh on all of the humans. That's my assembly line model. We do our good old Guillemot flesh. And let's see who needs flesh. Well, first, Captain. Captain definitely could use some flesh. We're going to put some right on his face. He's got a beard too, but you can put the flesh on the beard. It doesn't matter. Whatever you put for beard is going to overcome it. And we'll just say his hands are exposed also because he's got a 6-shooter. You don't want to fire a 6-shooter with gloves on. That would be stupid. All right, and that's all the skin for Captain. You always want to check that you got his ear too. They put the ears kind of far back. All right. Then we'll look at Scout, who in this one they call Katie. Give her a nice face. It might be a little too dark, but we'll lighten it up with real flesh color after. And she does have gloves on, I'm pretty sure. So at least my other model has. Oh, she's got like those fingerless gloves. So these are still like fingers here. Fingers here. All right, so there's your flesh for Katie. Might be a little too dark in the arm. So anytime the contrast stuff pools, you can just totally dry off your brush and put it in the pooled area, and it'll soak it up like a sponge. If it gets like too gloppy, you don't want it to be gloppy. All right, that's our flesh. Now let's do these guys, because these guys are pretty much all flesh. So here's Monk Dude. We're just going to slather it on. Now, it does look like he's got some mechanical arms in some places, so we want to make sure we're not putting flesh on the arm. Look, it looks like his whole right arm is mechanical, so he's not going to get flesh on that arm. And part of his left arm is mechanical. All right, and then his head also has part of it is, gotta look at my reference photo. Yeah, here he is. Yeah, he's got like a helmet. He's got like a, so all of this is metal. So that means that his ears and chin and stuff are going to be flesh. All right, cool. So then all this is going to be metal. Right, and I don't think he's got any exposed feet. These are all wrapped. Actually, his little toes might be out there in the world. We'll give him some toes. Everything else is wrapped. And that's a wrap on flesh for what's his name? Now this guy, Veroth, looks like exposed chest and then just the hands. And those other arms are green, so we don't need to do flesh on the extended arms. Just his two arms and a chest. So these arms in the back are going to be green. So we just have to worry about this arm. And he definitely has a chest going on. And this arm. And this thingamajobber. Definitely his head is flesh, man flesh. See, I globbed it on too much, so I just emptied the brush and then soaked it up with the brush like a sponge. All right, and then this is yeah, it's hard to tell if this is, I think this is actually a whole, like the gauntlets, and then I think this is skin. So it's so funny trying to pick out what's skin, what's not skin. But yeah, I think I'll just do it that way. We'll just give him skin with epaulettes, they call that, I think. Shoulder pads. All right. All right, he's got the flesh where it counts. All right, there he is, all fleshed. And then these will be green. Those will be green hands. All right, who else we got needs flesh? Well, we got this Driana, they call her Driana, and she's pretty much just got a bikini top. Everything else is flesh, and she's got fleshy legs. So I'm just gonna do this whole thing. I put it on a little bit lighter especially for females. I'm going to put a Kislev flesh over all of this anyway, but if you put it on too heavy, it ends up looking like burnt wood or something. And, you know, sometimes for men it looks cool because it's like they've been working out and they're in the mud and they're dirty, but you know, most times women are not dirty. So you want it to be as light as possible. We're just going to put where we think skin might be, and I don't worry if I paint over these gauntlets or something, because the gauntlets we're going to paint darker anyway, so we can put some kind of silvering on them. So yep, lock up your daughters, Ted. That's a lot of exposed flesh. She's a druid though, you know, so she's a hippie. She's out with nature. Oops. All right. Blingo, blango. And I think we're just about there. I don't know what this thing is on her foot. I think it's just it could be like ropes or something. We'll figure that out later, I guess. That's the funny part about miniature painting. A lot of times you don't know the details until you actually put color on it. And then you're like, oh, that was supposed to be that. I see. All right. She's got some kind of... Oh, it's funny. On the miniature, she's got like a ninja smock kind of thing going on her face. But on the picture, her face is out for the world to see. So that's interesting. It's funny too. I don't like when the models don't match their reference photos. Like, I like to see that the pose is the right model and everything. All right. That's her. All right, so that's all of our... Oh, you know what? Let's do this one too while we've got it. We might not get to this one tonight, but at least I'll have the flesh ready to go. The man flesh. And we'll just say she's got hands. Everything else looks pretty much... The Lords of Hellas is all like steampunky, so they all have like mech suits and stuff. So I don't think there's anything else there that we need to worry about. All right. That's our flesh. And now we're going to go back to puppy. You can see kind of puppy looks just fine right now, but we want to give him a little bit more blue to match his card. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this Talisar blue. It's really strong stuff. It's a really bright blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush like this, and I'm going to dip it in the contrast paint. And I'm going to kind of dab it off into a towel like this. So I'm actually kind of dry brushing with contrast paint. It's so weird, but it seems to work. It'll give you that kind of tint of the color you're looking for without actually slapping blue right on it. And also, if you tend to put it more on the outside of things but leave the highlights the lighter color, then you get a natural highlight out of it. You can see it's better than just slapping blue on here. Like you get kind of little gradients of, you can definitely see it's more blue now than it was before. It was more green, but now there's a little bit more bluish tint to it, but I didn't just slather it in blue. So that's the idea behind that. And again, these tails are a pain because every time you try to dry brush on them, you're going to spray paint everywhere. So you just got to do a light. Well, I hope you guys aren't bored out of your mind, because this is pretty much what I do to paint, and it's just kind of, it's more therapeutic to just sit here and paint stuff, but it can be a little boring, I think, to just watch. That's why it might be better to do like a pre-recorded show or something to just show the highlights. All right, so hopefully you guys can see now. It's not just that super greenish turquoise. There's actually now blue hue on it. All right, and that's all you need. It doesn't have to be crazy. So now the next thing we're going to do, just to finish up old puppy, is we're going to grab a gray. This is mine. No, that's black. Here's my gray, my Basilicum Gray. I use these things so much that names fall off of them. This Basilicum Gray is my go-to silver base. So basically anything I want silver, if I put this gray on it, then when I put a silver dry brush on top, it actually looks like metal or chainmail or silver. Like, for example, this floor is like one of those Terminator metal graded floors. So it'll look great when we put the silver on top of this gray. All right. Now the key with this gray stuff, though, is you got to let it dry a while before you dry brush on it. So we will put puppy back. If you mean if there's an old person gray, like gray hair, yes, this Basilicum Gray works great for gray hair as well. If you just put it on very lightly, but also it's how you prep the mini. So you notice what I do here is I do it all black, and then I do the gray dry brush, and then I do a white dry brush. And if I want the hair to be a brighter color, like a blonde or even a gray, I'll put more white on it. And then when I put the gray contrast on top, it'll look more gray. But if I leave it more black and don't put as much white on the hair, then it'll be more contrasty, and then it'll be a darker color. So just something to think about as well there. All right. So let's figure out, what do we want to do for this guy? I think first we want to try to, I want to try to match this guy's color, and I'm trying to remember what the hell color I used. I'm pretty sure that's Space Wolves Gray. I hope anyway. So I'm going to look into my arsenal for some Space Wolves Gray, and this is it's like a gray that has a blue hue to it. So I hope this is right. And what we're going to do is just slather him in it, because at the end of the day, like his boots and his gun will be silver. But again, any kind of gray is a great base for silver. So I'm just going to put this on it like that. I'm not sure if this is actually exactly what I used last time for the other miniature, but it's a good start. Now I do try to, if I can help it, I try to at least have two different colors on a model, so that way it doesn't just look like one giant glob of gray. So, so we may add up adding some more kind of bluish hues to this guy too, but pretty much that's his. It's the start of his gray suit. All right, we're going to go back to the other gray. And we're going to put it on his little jetpack thingamajobber, because I definitely want this to be silver. So, and also this separates the jetpack from him, so you can kind of see it gives a little bit more separation. So now he's not just a giant gray glob. And so what I'll also do is it looks like this jetpack is kind of going around him like this. So these parts are also the jetpack. And that also helps break up the model, that he's not all this blue gray. And when we put the silver on top, it'll really pop. All right, same thing with his boots are going to be more this gray color than the blue gray. So we'll just put that right on top. All right, and then and his little belt area too, we definitely want that. Helps again separate the model so it doesn't look like one giant glob. We're just gonna kind of do this like that, just like that. And there are some straps here that I'm making this gray color as well. He's got a strap here, a strap here. Right, and I think this is actually part of it, and this is part of it too. Cool, cool. That's what I love about these. They're pretty easy to go. Oh, and then also the gun. This is a straight up revolver, so it's going to be silver. So my go-to silver base is this gray. So we're going to make sure that gun is gray. All right, cool. And then finally, we definitely want the grid or the metal floor. It's going to get some metal on it, so we want to make sure that that has some gray on it too. All right. Now there's only two more things this guy needs. He needs hair, and he needs his little duffel bag full of guns. So for duffel bag full of guns, I'm going to go straight up. Creed Camo is a great, like, muted green color that's really great looking for like Marmy fatigues, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to put that right on there. I'm not sure it's a backpack. It looks like a backpack to me. It might be some kind of core something, but either way, this green looks pretty cool. All right. And then one final thing is he needs hair. And the original model, I did him with brown hair, but I think his actual hair is more black, but I'll keep it brown just to make it consistent. So I'll put this Creep Camo back. We knew you so well. I use this Gorgrunta Fur. This is my go-to paint for anything wood, leather, rope, any of that kind of really dark brown, rich brown kind of stuff. It's great for brown hair, but you have to put it on super light. So what I do is I just kind of wipe it off the brush as much as I can. And then we just kind of brush it on. Sometimes you wipe it off too much. You can see it makes a really nice dark brown, but it also will destroy any contrast lines you have underneath if you put it on too thick. So you want to try to make it as light as possible. Really, I should probably water it down or something, but I don't like to do more work than I have to do. Like at the end of the day, I just want to pull it out of the pot and make it work. All right. Yeah, there's something about the brown hair that makes him look captain-like. I don't know why. I think his hairline goes down a little bit more. I don't have my super magnifying glasses on, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. All right. Yeah, maybe the TV is helping me figure out. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then he'll be ready for his silvering, as I like to call it. And that means that we get to go to Katie, they call her now. Katie, which is in the old world, her name was Scout. Let's see, what did I do for my old Scout? Well, I definitely gave her pink hair, and I gave her a purple outfit. All right, so, and her gun is metal. All right, so this should be pretty easy. Let's go to pink. I have this stuff called Voluptuous Pink. And it's funny, pink and purple are very similar in contrast paint colors. And pink actually ends up looking a little bit more purpley than pink. And purple ends up looking more pink than purple, which is pretty funny. So yeah, we're going to put this on her hair. So this is her pink, blah, 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 pink hair. There's a little bit of a hair piece down here that I can barely see, but hopefully I got it. All right, we're gonna do that. And then I'm just putting it on real light because this pink, for some reason, yeah, when you put it on a little bit too heavy, it ends up looking more It ends up looking more purple, and yeah, actually more dark purple, really. All right, there we go. All right, and I think, yeah, that looks like about the same color that I used last time. So good on me for remembering. All right, let's get our purple out now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the light purple, which is the Magos purple. Is our go-to purple. It's a really light purple, but it's good for layering stuff. So her outfit is pretty much going to be all of this purple. So I might as well just put it on here like so. And we're going to give her some dark purple on top of this, but this will just be like a start. Yeah, she's definitely cyberpunky. In the Nemesis game, she's like this stealth. So she's really more like a dark purple to black because she's like hide in shadows kind of thing. All right. Normally I'll just slather it on and I won't care about messing up the base because I normally just black over the bases anyway, but these bases actually have like little metal grates that I want to surf, so I don't want to get on bases. All right. All right, cool. So that's pretty sure that's her whole outfit, minus her backpack's got a little like thing over the shoulder, and the backpack will be a darker color. And yeah. Hey, Jerry's here. We're just slapping paint onto models and praying for the best. Yeah, you guys have seen too. I really just kind of make this stuff up as I go, so that's why I don't like to do these painting shows, because if I mess up, I don't want to show it on TV or not. All right, I'm going to make this gray because these backpack and guns are going to be basically silver, or they're going to have silver components. So again, our base for silver is gray. Nice gray. All right, that's cool. I hope the live feed's not stuttering. It may be me stuttering. It might be Florida too. I don't know, Ted, but maybe even the internet is falling asleep from this painting job. But yeah, there you go. All right, so this gives us our separation. We've got a backpack that's different color than this purple suit. And they'll have some silver tinge to it. Really cool. But there's one more thing we want to do. We want to, I just want to go to the dark purple. Now this stuff is, this is my shyish purple. And this stuff might as well be black. So, so you want to be super careful again. So this is what I do. I'll take some of this stuff and I'll just make sure I dab it off here so I'm not getting glops of it. And I just want to darken up the boot areas, make them darker. Because again, she is basically supposed to be in the shadows dark, so it's not supposed to be like a neon pink suit. It just has pink flavor. And just like I did with the alien, you know, I'm kind of just dry brushing it on top. To give it a little bit of breakup. And that's it, really. Make that pauldron a little bit. All right, cool. Whoa, Red Hood's here. All right. Don't want to make the whole thing too dark, so that should do us for now. We'll see what that looks like when it dries. All right, so now we can go. Now that we have the 3 Nemesis figures done, except for the silvering, which need to come out. I'll do silver on those in a minute. When they dry, you really want to wait for, especially the gray, to dry. So yeah, now we're going to do this guy. What's his name? Jingo. So metal arm, metal head, blue pants, and kind of white socks. He's already got the white socks, so we'll just do blue pants. But, you know, first he's got to do metal, so we got to get this thing painted. So we're going to put some metal on it. We want his head to be metal, so this is also going to be gray. This will be tough because we don't want it to... Yeah, I'm going to use a different brush. I want to be a little bit more surgical on this one because we don't want it to go all around. All right. Kind of looks like Christian Bale in the new Thor movie. He's got that black face. It covers his eyes too, so. In the past, I used to do this as black, but black is so... It's just so dark, it takes away everything. I'd rather layer in some gray, and then if this is not dark enough, I'll just put a little bit more gray on top of that gray. But remember, we're going to put silver on top of this stuff anyway, so. Yes, Red Hood, this is the game we're going to be playing Friday night. It's called Knockdown. It is like a Street Fighter game, but it's all the Awakened Realms properties. So I think these fighters, these 3 that come with the Volume 1 are unique to the Knockdown game, and then Volume 2 is all the Nemesis characters. And then Volume 3 was the Tainted Grail characters, but I didn't get Volume 3. Because I wasn't sure I would like the game. So I got the Volume 1 came with Volume 2, so this whole thing was like $30, I think, to get all of it. Except for Volume 3. And now in hindsight, I should have gotten Volume 3 because I actually I think I like the game. You'll see on Friday. It's pretty fun though. All right, so he's got, this is all of a metal arm. This is all of a metal arm. All right, and then what's he got? Blue pants. Oh, and this is all red. I got you. That's a red scarf thing. And is this all? Oh, this whole thing is silver. Sometimes these handles are wood, but I guess this one is silver. Normally I would make this wood just to break it up, because if his hand's going to be silver and the thing's silver and it's silver on silver, it may just be too much, but then I do like to stick to the original design. You can see this kind of looks wet right now, but that's why we wait for it to dry. Once it dries, it'll look fine. It'll look great. All right, so first thing, I want to get some blue pants on this guy. I'm going to go back to our Space Wolves Gray, because that's what we did for the Captain. And Captain's pants look around the same color blue that I want his pants to be. If I just put the Talisar blue on it, then it would be too bright, I think. It'd be too crazy looking. Yeah, very similar to Twisted Fables. It's definitely a, they like to call it a Street Fighter kind of game. So it's definitely two fighters, and each fighter plays cards to beat the shit out of each other. The unique part of this game is that there's this really, and I hate, let me just say this, I hate dexterity games. I can't stand them. But this one has a mechanic that once you get to a certain, you basically get wound cubes when you get wounded. And at some point you can basically force someone to do a knockout test. And what you have to do is you have to try to stack your wound cubes within 10-second timer. And if you can't do it, you're knocked out. And if you can do it, then the game continues. And it sounds so dumb and it looks so dumb when you see other people play it. But when you actually do it, it's like, okay, this is fun. I get it. All right, that's blue pants done. Now let's do it red. Red ribbons. Here's red is also one that's it's very potent color. Like it goes on really strong. You want to be really careful placing it because it will cover pretty much everything, especially things you don't want it to cover. So you want to be really careful of putting on. Put it on light. If you glob it on too much, it'll get everywhere. You don't want it to be everywhere. Especially because I got this really cool like wooden floor that if I get red on that floor, you know what? I'm not going to say it because if I say it, it's going to happen and I don't want it to happen. So we're just going to forget. Just forget I even said anything about it. Get these ribbons going. Shenzhou. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a lot of looking, and this is the only Awakens Realms characters that don't actually come from another game. So I think these are specific to this game. And I got some extra figures that I showed at the top. And one of them, I don't have ether fields yet, but I pledged for the second wave, basically the reprint. And the reprint still hasn't come yet. So I'm excited to get that when the reprint comes. But apparently one of the characters in that is a penguin. So we have Chili the business penguin. And he's a fighter. You can fight with him. So that'll be pretty fun, I think. Like, it'd be more fun if I played at Ether Fields and knew who the fuck Chili the Business Penguin was, but anyway, heck, a penguin fighting people is pretty fun. All right. I think we may have done the red ribbon without anybody getting hurt. I hope. You don't want to talk too soon. You can always tell that I'm very carefully placing paint when I stop talking, because then I'm like holding my breath and like, oh my God, don't get this on anything. You have no idea how many times I've gotten red paint on shit that I didn't want red paint on. Definitely looks cool though, but yeah, you definitely want to be careful with it. All right, there you go. Red ribbons on a thing that we're going to turn into silver, with silver head and silver arms coming up. I think also this sash around his waist should be red. It's hard to tell in the picture if it is or not, so we're just gonna go with it. It makes sense, and it helps break him up. All right. Tie that red ribbon around that killing machine. All right, there we go. Red sash. Done and done. All right, one last thing for this guy is that he's got wood base, and you know my go-to wood is this Gorgrunta Fur. It's awesome. Just gonna put it right on that base. Do 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 do. Careful not to get it on the red that I just put down, or to get it on him. These bases are a pain in the ass. All right. This stuff goes on thick if you're not careful, so I'm trying to be careful not to put it on too thick. And also, when I do it too thick, I like to rub it off, but this is such a tight space that it's hard to rub it off, so without getting brown on other stuff. So I just want to be careful about it. So I'm just now using the brush to sop up the extra brown. All right, I think he's ready for silver. He'll go in the silvering machine. All right, now we got, what's his name? Veroth. Veroth has, again, silver and green hands. And it looks like black pants. Like straight up black. All right, well, I might as well do his base while we're here because he's got a similar wooden thing. This is a little bit easier to get to, so Be easier to rub in. All right, now it looks like his green arms are kind of like phantom arms. So there's a couple of different ways we can go with it, but I think I'm really just going to go straight up orc arms. So we're going to go my orc flesh. Orc flesh all the time, and we're just gonna give this guy some green arms because that's what green arms do. Orc flesh is really great green color because it's super bright, and especially when you do this style that I do, which is very shaded, you definitely want to have lighter colors go over the shade. It looks like these arms are like magically coming out of his back, so just kind of splooging it around, making it look like it's there. Yeah, that looks pretty cool, actually. All right, so now here's the thing. First, we want to do gray for his silvering places, right? So what's silver is going to be his axe. So we just want to make sure the axe is there. And yeah, he's another dude that's got a metal handle on his axe. So let's put some gray on this bad boy all the way around. All right, and then he's going to basically have all black clothes. And I'm sorry, but game designers, when you ask artists to make character concepts for you that you know you're going to have miniatures for, don't make it all black or all white. I mean, give us something to work with here, for the love of Jesus. All right. Oh, I forgot his little mouthpiece is green. So we go back to the orc. Yeah, I guess they're making him like a green Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, I guess is the idea behind that. Yeah, so this whole thing is green here. All right. Green helmet done. All right, so now we've basically just got these black pauldron thingies and his black skirt, for lack of a better word. But I don't want it to be black, because that's very boring. So since he's got green arms and stuff, why don't we go for Dark Angel's green, because I can always make it darker later. The green will go with his green arms and stuff. And it won't just be a horribly black model. All right, so we're going to get this. And I can put it on a little bit heavy because ultimately I want it to be super dark. Right, I can't believe they have all this cool detail and they wanted you to paint it black. Like, why would you want to hide detail with black? I don't get it. I don't get it. cool. Let's do these pauldrons. Now you can see this dark green is not as dark as I'd like it to be. It's still kind of matching with the green arms, but that's okay. We can darken the whole thing up with some gray on top. I just wanted the hint of green underneath, you know, otherwise it's just going to be boring. And you don't want it to be boring, says the guy talking to himself on it, to the internet at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, with black, you would have to highlight a lot to get the details out. All right, so we're going to go with that, I think. All right, so now we want to darken this up. So what I might want to do is, not in the highlight areas, but on the lower areas, just put another coat of this on. Let's make it a little bit darker. I'll leave the kind of ropes light. And then I'll just put gray on top of the whole thing and we'll see what happens. Hopefully make it a little bit cooler. All right. That's our green on that guy. Let's take some gray. That's right, Redhead. I'm talking to you. And yeah, I'm just going to take some gray and I'm going to kind of put it on top of this. And that'll just darken it up. I will leave the ropes, what do you call those, melts or something, more greenish, but this just darkens up the whole thing. You can see I'm gonna have to wait a little while for this to dry, but that definitely helps. It helps make this a much darker green, but it's still green, not black, and it's different from the arms, because here you want this to look different color than the arms, you see. So definitely it just darkens it up a little bit. All right, and it looks kind of horrible wet, but when it dries, it'll be cool. All right. Yeah, I think we are generally the same age range. I'll give you that. All right. One last person to have all of our Volume 1 and Volume 2 complete, and that is this lady whose name is Driana, and it does look like she's got a green color scheme too. She's got a green bikini, she's got green skirt, she's got green hair. She's pretty much all green. So I'm gonna do that. All right, what is happening with her hair? Is it like in a... Yeah, it's like a ponytail. All right, so what I'm going to do is the same business. I'm going to do light green everywhere. Then I'll put gray on top of the areas I don't want. That's right, Ted. We had some fun last night making potty jokes. All right, so first things first, I guess let's do her little green outfit. It's funny, I guess Awakened Realms had the models made already for Nemesis and whatnot, so it's easier for them to do those models. But I don't know what they were thinking with these. Definitely have weird stuff going on. All right, I'm guessing that's how this goes. She's got like a green dress that is coming around here. Goes like that. Totally glopped that on. Just spread it around. All right, and then there's this. Get under there. All right, what is that? I see this is like a plant going around her leg. I think she's like a druid or something, so she's got like plants wrapped around her. And I don't care. I'm going to touch up the skin, so I don't care if some of this gets on the skin because I will redo. Especially with females, I always like to do a skin last to make sure that it's smooth. All right, here is our, I'll just call it bikini for lack of a better word. This goes like so. We'll just say it like that. Yeah, it's so weird. She's got like all these weird little straps, which I guess are green. So I'll just color them green. I can always, what I'll probably end up doing is putting a gold on top. All right, she's definitely got some kind of armband here, and a wristband here. Yeah, Awakened Realms makes Nemesis for sure. Yep, so they make Nemesis, they make Tainted Grail, which is the volume 3 of this that I didn't get. They make the Ether Fields. They make the Great Wall, which is something I'm interested to get, but it's, you know, too much money for what they want for it. And they're the ones that are making the miniatures for the new Castles of Burgundy game, which is outrageous. Like, how many versions of Castles of Burgundy do we really need to have, for the love of Jesus? All right, all right, yeah, we got to do the back here. Yeah, I like that Nemesis playthrough too. I think I'm gonna do another one because Nemesis Lockdown should be coming soon, the expansion, or the newer game, I should say. So definitely look for more Nemesis coming. All right. Yeah, that doesn't look horrible. I get it now. And, you know, she does have, it looks like she's got green hair, but if I put green hair on her, it's just going to make everything look green. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to give her the 25th anniversary of Castles of Burgundy was horrible. I actually ended up keeping my original Castles of Burgundy just because that new one just looks so dumb. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what they were trying to do with it. And I almost got rid of my Castles of Burgundy because I just don't play it anymore. because I play it all online now. The Castles of Burgundy app is amazing. Like, it does all the math for you. It does all of the movement for you. I don't know why I would ever play without the app ever again. Now, if there were miniatures, I got excited when I saw the miniatures, because if there were miniatures for every type of building, and it were like the new Terraforming Mars, where you had like a whole set of miniatures for every building type, that would have been awesome. I would have been all in on that. But they just have miniatures for the basic buildings. And yeah, and so basically the reason why there's so many miniatures is they need enough for 4 players, but I never played at 4 players, so it's just a waste of miniature time. All right, this bow and arrow is gray, but there's this weird thing that I'm just going to say is a giant leaf, because she's a druid. I'm going to go with druid, so this means that this should be, we'll just call this a leaf. It looks leafy, right? Crickstar says, I saw an interview where the dev hinted at full miniatures like Foundations of Rome. Oh, if they did that would change it for me. Like right now, I'm $100 for a bunch of miniatures I'm never going to use is kind of dumb. But if they went full miniatures, and Awakened Realms can do it, that would be awesome. I would be in on that. Otherwise, if it's just tiles, I got a fully functioning game already. I don't need more tiles. All right, well, against my better judgment, I went pretty much full green on this chick, and it doesn't look bad, but we definitely want to do some things that make it pop out. So, yeah, I might put some highlights in her hair, but first we're going to do the gray. The gray bow. Oh, Reddit says, where did I get my little lantern LED light post that I used in Bloodborne? Oh, in the overview. Yep, those are from Dwarven Forge. I am a big collector of the Dwarven Forge. I happen to know the creator of the Dwarven Forge, and so I've been collecting Dwarven Forge for a long time. And yeah, in the last few years, they started making LED terrain. And they have these really great, if you look at their city sets, they have, they're basically just street lantern posts that you can get that are really cool looking. And the batteries on them are amazing. Like, I've had them for years now, and they still haven't run out of battery yet. So it's superior engineering, I'll tell you that much. All right, that is the bow. Yeah, you can buy those LED pieces individually. If you go to dwarvenforge.com, they have a really cool web shop, and they're pretty good about, if you order there, you get it in a couple of days. They don't have they have a distribution center and all that kind of stuff. It's just hard to find stuff in stock, so you have to look online and see what's in stock and what's not. They sell things painted and unpainted, and normally you'll get the unpainted stuff. It'll be more available than the painted stuff. So if you don't mind painting those lanterns, you can probably get them a lot cheaper, and they're probably going to be available or more available. All right. Darken up these wristbands, and then definitely need to put the brown bottom. I feel like it's last night we were talking about brown jokes again. She needs a brown bottom. Brown bottom. Yep, Ted's with me. He knows what I'm talking about. This brown can get really dark. When it gets really dark, it does end up looking like dirty things. So it's no good too. You definitely don't want it to look like she's standing in a pile of poop. But it'll clear up when it dries. All right, cool. There she is. Yeah, so maybe I mean, it is what it is. No point going crazy if we don't need to. So she'll be on the list to get the silvering for her bow. All right, that's all 6 people. And wow, I really like how this puppy came out. That blue color looks really cool. Yeah, one thing I might do is just get some Wraithbone white, and I'm just gonna ensure that his little teeth and his little claws are cool. I mean, I did preserve them pretty well, but it looks cooler when it's light out there. These claws will kill you. All right. Yep. So that's him. All right. So now I think we're ready to start silvering some of these guys. And to do that, normally I would take a brush like so, like a eyebrow brush, and I will use this for some of it. But especially with these bases, some of these bases, you can see the eyebrow brush is going to be a little too thick. It'll be too wide and it'll maybe get everywhere, but we'll see how it goes. I'll use a different brush if it gets too thick. All right, so silver, here we go. Runefang Steel. Now we're doing straight up dry brush. So we take a towel, we take some Runefang Steel, we put it in the towel, we dry it up. And you can even test on your hand if it's going to be too thick, which that is too thick. And there we go. And we're just going to give it a little shook. This gives it a little bit of a... If you put it too much, then it's just going to look like a giant silver thing. But that's just enough, because you still want the black and the grays to show through underneath. All right, so that's puppy is done. Now we've got Captain, so we can kind of do his little silver base first. Make sure we get some shine on that bad boy. And now here's where it gets tricky. This brush might be too big to brush stuff on him, but really I just want to brush this backpack. Right, let's make that silver just like that. His little boots. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. His little belt in the center. And then his gun. And just like that. Captain done. All right, and then we've got Katie, who is also known to us as Scout. You know what? I don't think I gave Scout proper gray on this, but that's fine. She's in a more silvery floor area than not, I guess. She's going to get some silver on her gun. She also has a silver backpack. And whatever this thing is. See how this thing is kind of ginormous on her, but you know, that helps bring out the silver. Then also these little like side thingies that she's got. If you just do a little bit, you'll get a little bit of a, it gives a little bit of a highlight. It's like a metallic highlight, because I figure that especially their boots are going to be reflecting metal and stuff. So there's that. Cool. So that is the Nemesis team done. Now we've got these guys. Actually, they're not done. I have to go back and finalize the flesh, but now here's Jingo, whatever his name is. Whenever I do swords or metal or stuff, I don't go over the top like this. I try to do the edges first, because those are the things that are going to look like metal. Right? And the rest doesn't really matter. Then you can kind of do a light over the top, but really you want this thing to look more metal than everything else. But other than that, and he's got metal arms, so you might as well just go metal arm. And he's got a metal arm here. And now here's where it's tricky. Do I want to try to shove this thing in here and potentially get metal on the red cloth? I can do his metal head, that's for sure. But I don't think I want to risk getting in there. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take a normal brush. Still do a dry brush. I'm still going to do this with the brush. And then I'm just going to get underneath here and get his metal arm. And then it won't get anything else. Then we know he's got metal arms. He's got a metal head. He's got a metal thing. Everybody's happy. All right, let's go back to the big brush. Let's come back to this guy. I can't remember their names. I think he's like Velnor or something. Anyway, same business. We want the edge to be the silver part. And then something I might want to do is just do his little gauntlets. I'm just going to do a little like a, I know it's tempting fate. See, this is still it's too big for me to do it. So I'm going to do a normal brush. Here we go. And I want to just give him a little bit of a silvering on the gauntlets. And a little bit on this belt. All right. And then finally, lady, what's her name? She also needs some silver on this bow. So we're going to just silver up the bow. All right, that makes a little more sense that these are leaves instead of this whole thing being a giant bow. Some way, shape, or form. Red Hood is awesome. Yes, I've read the situation correctly. All right. Now it's time for some cleanup. So first things first, we want to get our flesh cleaned up. And our go-to flesh color is good old Kislev flesh. This stuff is liquid gold, I tell you. It's good stuff. All right. We're going to take some of this. And this is normally when I use like magnifying glass to get teeny tiny places. But really, I'm just cleaning up the skin. So what I normally do is I'll just go for areas that I see that are too dark, but also, you know, it doesn't, for men, it doesn't really matter. Like he's actually looking pretty cool. I just maybe want to put some on his cheek, maybe some on his neck, clean up that neck, some on his nose maybe, so it's not so dark. All right, the girl, though, however, is going to want a little bit more. Definitely want her to have some more. Just lighten it up. It's almost like dry brushing. Yep, she's got little fingers here. She's got little fingers here, I'm pretty sure. That's that. Here's the thing. This guy now needs some cleanup because he's pretty much naked. So we're going to give him a little bit more of a overall brightening. And we'll give it a little bit of a kind of workaround. Just lightens up the whole thing, you know. You really just want to put some globs on the highlights of the muscle groups. That'll make things kind of pop out. Because especially with guys, you want it to be darker in the darker areas, but you definitely don't want it to be like dark brown. It still needs to be skin colored. See, like here is a little too dark, so definitely got that going. And then I'll do a little bit of dry brush here to kind of, I mean, he's got abs, they're just too black. Right, what I tend to do, just like I do my primings, I make these circular motions, and then it doesn't fill in the cracks, but it makes it more like uniform. That's a way to lighten things up without just glopping paint on it. You definitely don't want to glop paint on things. All right, whoops, sorry. Yeah, looks pretty cool, except there is this like valley between his neck and his thing that shouldn't really be there. So I'm just gonna clean that up. It's just an overall lightening to make it look more like skin. All right, cool. You can see how that's still kind of messed up. It's just, you can see where the black from the original dry brush is hanging on too hard. We don't want it to be completely, you don't want it to be splotchy. Unless you have a skin condition or a disease or you're a monster. You definitely don't want to have areas that are too black, or will take your eye away from the subject. And it's harder when these guys are like just buff naked. So you really gotta do more work to make this skin look real. If it's just a couple of hands or something, it's a lot easier than the whole body. Hey, Jason is here. That's cool. Definitely need to get. We need to get you playing this game, Jason. It's an awesome game. Hopefully you'll see it on Friday. All right, cool. I think that's all I want to do with this guy. He's got muscles. Mission accomplished. Muscles accomplished. See, the way they have the model here, it's hard to see where his neck and the metal helmet meets, but you know. All right. Yep. Well, I'm done with him. So that's it. There you go. Oh, wait a second. There's always something you'll see that'll bug the hell out of you.
Is it me?
Whoa!
Whoa! I'll bug the hell out of you.
Hmm.
Is it weird that I was watching you in the bedroom?
That is weird.
Whoa, I'm weird. Whoa.
Hmm.
Hi, everybody. Okay, bye.
All right. All right. Oh, Jason says he can't leave his house for the next 5 to 10 days. That must mean he has COVID.
He's got the
That's no good. All right. Let me just get a black, because I went a little overboard with the flesh on his arm, and I forgot he's still got a metal arm here. So I don't know if you can see this seam where the metal meets the arm. I just don't like when it's when you can tell that it's fake. So hopefully that cleaned it up a little bit. All right. Yeah, that's him. All right. 2 last flesh people to do. We got our flash lady. She's gonna be a lot more lightening than normal, so we're gonna make sure that her little legs are lightened. And her little arms. Needs to be smooth. Her little abs. Her arm here, where it shows the most. Her little hand. There and there and there. Yeah, that's the thing about COVID nowadays. Like, you really just get sick, but it really lays you up. No one wants to be around you. All right, cool. 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 All right, cool flesh legs done, flesh arms. Now I'm just looking to see, to make sure that nothing looks especially with females, you want it to just be smooth. You can't have any like congealed splotches, or you kind of want it to all look like one giant color if you can help it. It does look like I missed a green spot over here, so I'm going to put some more green over there in a second. But yeah, I think that will do it for her. Her face is already pretty nice and bright. All right, let's talk about, right, what is this guy's name? Veroth, that's his name, Veroth. Come on, Veroth, don't be a jerk. You need some pecs, get those pecs. You need some biceps, some triceps, some delts. Just got to do those back and buys. Yep, you can see we're just highlighting it up, making it not. You can see, especially in some of these areas, it just ends up looking like brown almost until you get the flesh to lighten it up. Again, sometimes with men or beasts or just dirty people, you want to keep it dark, but in the most part, especially if you're doing like muscle men like this, you definitely want to lighten it up as much as you can. All right. Yeah, and again, it's almost like dry brushing. I'm just kind of not glopping the paint on, but what I'm trying to do is anywhere that's definitely like hard black, like you can see the bottom of his arm here is like, you definitely don't want that stuff to be so dark. So kind of add it, clean it up. Yeah, I think that'll do it. It's all the dark spots fixed. All right. There's one thing I'd like to do then is anytime you use green as a color for things, green and gold go together like chocolate and peanut butter. So we're going to put some maybe gold accoutrements on our green people. All right. So yeah, first thing hits me with this guy is maybe he's got a gold belt. So I'm going to do a little dry brush, and I'm going to maybe put some gold on this guy's belt. Maybe there's some, again, I'm just dry brushing this stuff. I'm not actually putting anything official on, but maybe his little, I'll call them bathrobe things. Yeah, I need a little goldy gold. All right, nothing crazy. Just something to give it a little highlight. Normally people will highlight at the end. It just gives you a little bit of a, if the model gets too dark, you can highlight it with a accent color. He does have 4 arms. Yep, he's a bad mofo. All right, I think that's Veroth done. And then, yeah, same with her. I think I'm gonna, it makes sense for her to have like maybe gold. These straps are kind of gold, maybe. Just overall give it a gold highlight. This sort of makes it pop. It's not just bland green. I could even make these little bracelets gold. It's too much. Yeah, buddy. Put a little gold on this bow. Make the leaves a little bit cooler. Yep, already that makes it more interesting than just plain green. But it's not like, whoa, you put a whole bunch of gold on there. Nope, we didn't. All right. One last thing, I definitely want to, this is just too bright for me, so I definitely want to tone this down. So we're going to put some more gray on this base. This is also a good trick if you put too much silver or something on something, you can always just put more gray on top to tone it down. And you'll notice with the contrast paint, I'm spreading it around, especially with this. You can see how it's starting to get stuck in the holes. You don't want it to just be stuck in the holes. So I kind of just keep moving it until it's not stuck. All right, cool. Now the final thing that we do, or that I do, is I take just a straight old black base. It's amazing how you can have kind of a crappy model, but it looks so great when the base is clean. So as long as you have a nice clean base, things will look, it's amazing how things will look just more professional. Yeah, we just go around and base it up. Because what it does is really, from a miniature perspective, is it makes the mini pop off the table, because then it's kind of just elevated on the table instead of the base being like this ginormous. You can see, as opposed to this, where it's kind of like dirty. But just cleaning up the base makes it just cleaner. All right, and then we got Puppy. like how this one came out. I almost want to go and redo all my Nemesis big miniatures now to be this color scheme because it's definitely cool looking. Whoa. All right, that's all the Nemesis ones done. Let's look at what's his name? Jingo Shenzhou. Yep, you can see I got red on that and all this kind of stuff. You just want to black base cures all wrongs. If you want to cure all of the wrong of society, just put a black base coat on it. I'm being super careful here because you can see that the red ribbon is like touching the base. So I don't want to like totally kill it, but there's that guy. Then we got Dude Man, Veroth, maybe. I'll look up and see what it is. Veroth. All right, and then you can kind of see that it also makes the wood kind of pop better because it does. It looks like you know, it's inside this area. All right, and then finally, what's her name? You get a black base, and you get a black base. All right. All right, and there we have it. We've got all of Knockdown Volume 1 done, which is... Let me get these guys out. I'll show you. All right, so we got Veroth. There he is with his multiple arms and his dark skirt. Not black though, because I'm not going to do black because that's not how I roll. Then we've got Driana, and she is here. And that works out okay. I might do something with that hair to make it less look like tree hair and more like hair, but other than that, I think it worked out good. And then we've got Jingo. I think he came out the best of this lot because he's definitely, that metal helmet is cool. The metal axe came out really good. The red stuff is cool. Yeah, I think he's the best of the season 1 for sure. Jingo. All right, so that's volume 1 of these guys. We got 3 of those guys. And then volume 2, we have Puppy, which definitely is the best of this lot. I do like this one a lot. He came out cool. Oh yeah, there was one thing I was going to do to him. I was going to put the art coat on him so he would be shiny. So maybe we'll do that in a second. Oh yes, this is what the original Nemesis looks like. Whoa! So he's like a baby. Very similar pose though. And then we've got James, who is also known as the Captain. Oh yeah, you know what I didn't do? This is why that looks weird. Captain's supposed to have a beard. I need to put a beard on that bad boy. But this is my original Captain. That's why I didn't put a beard on him, because this guy doesn't have a beard. Or I didn't put a beard on him either. Shit, I got to put beards on both of these guys. Oh well. Captain looks cool though. And then we've got Katie. Katie's ready for action. There she is. And this is the original Scout. Definitely a much better model than the original one. Cool. So that's all of those guys. Now there are two more optional figures that we could paint if we're feeling up to it. It is 10 o'clock though. I've been painting for 2 hours. So I got all of Volume 1 and Volume 2 done in 2 hours. That's good. So, do we want to see Chili get painted? That's the question. The trouble is I don't know the Chili color scheme really. But might as well give it a shot, right? Maybe we'll give Chili a shot. Because Chili should be really easy because a penguin is really just black and white, right? And I assume he's wearing a black hat, although some of the people that I see paint him with a brown hat. So maybe he's got a brown hat and a brown luggage and he's a black penguin. I don't know, but we're going to find out. Well, first things first, we are going to use yellow. My good old iodine yellow. Thanks for sticking around, by the way. Thanks for indulging me on one more model before we call it a night. And penguins have yellow beaks. So he's got a yellow beak. Just like that. Look at that. He's already coming together. Now, let me tell you a story about Chili the business penguin. When I subscribed to this Kickstarter, it was definitely before COVID, so it's got to be almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half. But I totally forgot that I early bird pledged it. And when you early bird pledge it, you get Chili for free. So then when I did the pledge manager, I realized that I really wanted Chili, so I actually added Chili as an add-on. So I actually have 2 of these Chili business penguins, which means that somebody somewhere is going to want to get one. I have an extra one. So let me know if you yourself would like to paint a Chili the penguin. And I definitely have an extra one. Because of my own stupidity, I bought an extra one when I didn't realize I got one for free with the Kickstarter. All right, I'm guessing this is an old kind of suitcase. I'm using a leather contrast paint for that. It may be too dark, but probably should have used some Agros tunes or something on that, but but that's cool. But I think I would like to use this same color for the hat. So let's do that. I don't know what that band is around it. Maybe it'll be darker. So we're going to give this penguin a brown hat. Just like that. I think a lot of people painted this brown because this penguin came with it came with ether fields, and if people got ether fields with a the Sundrop version, was this color. It's like a brownish color, so people just figured, oh, the hat must be brown. All right. Now I'm gonna go back to my fur because I need to shake this up. All right, I'm going to use this fur color for the suitcase binding. Again, it's really dark, but I think it works so good as a suitcase binding. Yes, Chili Willy does have a red hat. That would be cool to do a Chili Willy version. If only I had an extra miniature that I could paint a different way. All right, I'm going to put this like that. That goes like that. That goes like that. He's the business penguin. He's got a business suit and everything. It almost looks like he's carrying an amplifier, which is even cooler. I didn't even think that was an unexpected benefit. Well, now if I ever need to make a miniature amplifier, I know what colors to use. It's going to be leather with brown edges. All right, cool. Let me go back to the leather because I forgot to do the top of the suitcase. Oh, on the bottom too, crap. Three-dimensional things are crazy. Right, top of suitcase. Come on, Chili, get with it. Bottom of suitcase. Probably should have covered the whole thing in leather and then just did the trim. But you live, you learn. All right, cool. Let's go back to the fur. Fur it up. And we're just going to do this trim. And we're going to do the trim on the hat. And yep. And that's all the brown, I think. We got a brown hat. We got a brown. Give this rim a little bit of a darker. All right, cool. We got a brown hat. We got a brown suitcase. I'm saying that these are ice cubes on the bottom, so let's put some Athermatic Blue on the bottom and make some ice cubes. Ice cube me, bro. That's exactly the way I thought that would turn out. He is Chili, the business penguin. He's going to sell you insurance. right, cool. Now, one last thing, just like we did with the puppy, we're going to put a little dry brush blue contrast paint kind of just on the edges, because ice is really blue. It just helps make that blue kind of pop. All right, and then finally there's Chili himself. So normally penguins are black and white, right? But in my experience, when I do black, it just blackens everything. So we don't want to go total black. So we're going to go gray, and we might have to do a couple layers of gray. But first things first, we know they got a tuxedo coat. So we're going to put the coat on like so. You are a tuxedo wearing MRFer. And you can already see that's sort of light. I think Ted was saying, is there a gray hair look? This is your gray hair look. But that's cool. We're gonna take care of it. Then also their faces are dark. So we're gonna put some gray on the face. Gonna try to keep those eyes like a doll's eyes. All right, I want to keep that there. All right, cool. We definitely want the chest and this part to be white. But flippers are black. Flippers are black. You see, I totally globbed that on too much. So I definitely want to spread it around. Spread the love. Spread that love. So I don't want it to be gloppy. And these feet are black also. Black feet. All right, cool. All right, and there you can see our template, but it's still a little too gray. So we'll wait for that to dry a little bit, and then we'll put one more coat of this gray on, and then that'll make it a little bit darker. Because again, I don't want it to be completely black. Otherwise, you're not going to get all these little details of the fur. Because yes, I said it, penguins have fur. All right. But it already looks cool. Yeah. Yep. So one thing I'm going to do while I'm waiting for this gray to dry is I'm going to take out this layer of paint called White Scar. I'm just going to very lightly dry brush it on his chest because penguins are white. And this, what will happen too is the white will make the gray look darker. All right. All right, here we go. White, 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 white. Just brightens it up. But I still want you to see how there's those little dark lines. I definitely don't want to lose those. So I just want to do it enough that it whitens up. right? But I don't want it to be just a white glob. I still want to see those little lines. Cool. And actually that gray is drying just about the color we want. I think maybe just one little coat on top will do it. One last thing is maybe I'm gonna, I was like saying one last thing I noticed. If I have a teenier brush, let me see if I can't just get his eyes to pop out a little bit. There you go. He's got some eyes. That's all of our white required. Just one more layer of gray. I think we got it. I think Chili is on his way to being complete. The penguin's also supposed to have a beard. Yeah, I think this whole head is kind of black. Like that, yep. All right, and then one thing I might want to do is put some metal highlights for the suitcase and his hat. Because it does look like he's got some kind of a, I don't know what this is, a paper clip or I don't know, something metal there. These are metal straps on the case. Oops. Maybe just put a little bit of metal on the corners. Cool. I think that's it. Chili's done. Well, I got some silver there. It shouldn't be there. Hold on 1 second. We're going to do one last thing, which is we're going to go back to our fur color. If I want to fix that. All right, and then while I'm here, I totally forgot that Jerkface needs a beard. Maybe we'll give him a beard right now. Yeah, that's not dark enough. I'll do that later. I need to look at a magnifying glass to get the little mustache right, but you guys get the idea. This brush is too big. I'll end up doing it later. But anyway, that's the only last piece. It's just seeing if this guy needs a beard or not. So that's it, everybody. We've got Puppy done. We've got Captain and Tennille. We've got Jingo. We've got Driana. We've got Vengoth, whatever his name is. We got Chili the Penguin. Oh, I almost forgot. Chili needs his base done. All right, let's just finish Chili up, and then he'll be ready. He'll be right as rain. Yeah, that'll make it. Just makes it cleaner. Looks like he's on an icy tundra. Cool. Yeah, I think Chili came out the best. He's definitely ready to kill some folks. Could you imagine, Chili? We might have to do this tomorrow or on Friday. Chili versus Puppy. That would be a good fight. All right, cool. That's it for me, everybody. Hope everyone had a good time. And yeah, let me know if you want to see any other paint shows. I've got a lot more coming because I definitely have to do the Thing miniatures and the Lord of the Rings miniatures and a whole bunch of stuff. So that's it for me, though. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. And yeah, let me know if you like these or if you need to see anything else or want to see anything different. Other than that, have a great night.